Okay, we're going to get started with our study on volume, how much space an object is going to take. So our first lesson is on prisms. We're going to go a couple of different shapes here, but the idea and the formulas will remain the same. The only one of these that is different is like the rectangle or the box. You can see here our formula is volume equals length times width times height. That's a pretty common one, where the length and the width and the height are all the three dimensions of that shape. So in this case, the volume is going to equal, and it doesn't matter what order you do these because we're just going to do multiplication. Okay, so we're just going to multiply those all together to find the volume of this box, otherwise known as a rectangular prism. 3,672. Now we're in volume, so we have cubic centimeters or cubic units. Okay, that's kind of your clue that we're dealing with volume. All the other ones are using this formula down here, where, gosh, that's about the shortest one that we've had. The volume equals the area of the base times the height. So you can see here in this little diagram that the base is going to be a triangle. Okay, remember on prisms there are always two that are exactly the same. And then the distance between those two is going to be my h, or my height between those bases. Okay, so we're going to use that one up here. So again, the formula itself is pretty simple. Okay, to fill out that formula, I need to identify these two things. Okay, so when I look at my picture, I'm going to first of all figure out where is my base. So I can see here I've got a triangle here, and another one in the back that's exactly the same. Okay, I didn't want to shade too much there because it's kind of hard to see then. So the other one in the back. So between those two is 16 millimeters. So that's my height of 16. The area of the base, and you have to think, this base is a triangle. So area of the base is going to be base times height divided by 2. So there's a lot of bases and a lot of heights there. Okay, so if this area of the base, that's a side of the prism, base, or the little b is a side of the triangle, h is the height of my triangle. So in this case, it's going to be 11 times 5.4 divided by 2. So when I do that, I get 29.7. That is the area of one base. Okay, so the formula just says I have to just take that base times the height of the prism. And when I multiply those two together, I get my volume, 475.2 cubic millimeters. Okay, so we did have to do a little sidebar over here to help us find the area of the base, but it's a triangle, and we should be used to those by now. Okay, volume equals the area of the base times the height. Okay, so let's do H, and then we'll do B. That's a funky H. All right, so we can see that the base is going to be a triangle. Sometimes when I look at these, I have to like blink to see if I'm getting the top or is at the bottom, or, all right, so I'm just going to do this top one here. Okay, and then the bottom one is the same thing on the bottom. So the height between those two triangles is this distance right here, which is 5. The area of the base, it is a triangle, so base times height divided by 2. So this little dotted line here is perpendicular to this side, which would be the 12 carried down. I'm going to erase this so we can kind of see through there. So this is the height, and it goes around here. This 12 comes over here, comes straight across. They're exactly, this triangle and that back one are exactly the same. So base is 12 times the height of 7.3 divided by 2. Okay, when you do that, you get 43.8. So now I have to come over here. And again, maybe you don't want to write all that down. I'm doing this for purposes of notes, but it is so easy to get lost in some of this stuff that you'd hate to miss a problem just because you missed, dividing by 2 or something. Okay, So watch your formulas, watch your multiplying, dividing, and all that good stuff. All right. So while this looks complicated, if you remember, we're just trying to find h and the area of the base. So this is a hexagon, both on the bottom and the top, but we don't know how to find the area of a hexagon at this point, so it's telling me what b is already, so I don't even have to do any calculation there. And the height between these two hexagons is 9. So I know when I just have those in there, all I have to do is multiply those two together. 41.57 times 9. So the volume of that, 374.13 cubic inches. So there's how we find the volume of prisms. Some of the prisms are rectangular. Okay, so that formula is pretty easy to follow. The other types of prisms, with the two bases that are exactly the same, we're going to follow this one here and use that to help us find the volume of those.